Inside the limitless dark sea of space, past the closing whisper of daylight, a lone Voyager drifts silently. It is not a spaceship crewed by astronauts, nor a probe with a return ticket. It is Voyager 2's old but persistent messenger launched by humanity nearly 5 decades ago. Most people believe that after crossing the boundary of our solar system, simply became a silent observer, whispering back signals from the edge of the void. But now, something has changed. Voyager 2 has seen something that was never supposed to move. Something that wasn't supposed to be there for years. Its journey through the interstellar medium had been uneventful. Just particles, magnetic fields, and cosmic silence, until the silence broke. Until a motion planned and unmistakable was caught drifting in the darkness, something shifting with intent. And when scientists on Earth decoded the unusual anomalies Voyager 2 transmitted, a chilling realization began to settle over them. What we feared deep down might actually be true. Voyager 2 had long passed the planets beyond Neptune, beyond Pluto, beyond the heliopause, the invisible line where our sun's influence fades and interstellar space begins. Out there, it was expected to glide quietly, picking up minor fluctuations in space, dust, and solar radiation. But instead, it picked up movement, the kind of movement that doesn't happen by chance at first. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory noticed what they thought was a blip in the plasma wave data spike that lasted only seconds. Those instruments are extremely sensitive and typically report on changes in particle densities or interactions with magnetic fields. However, this time the signal carried a strange signature. It pulsed in a rhythm. It wasn't just data. Felt like a pattern, not natural. Not random. Engineers thought maybe it was interference, maybe a glitch caused by cosmic rays, or even equipment degradation. After all, Voyager 2 is almost 50 years old. But when the same signal repeated dawned with increased power, they knew something was wrong, or perhaps very right, because the data wasn't noise, it was a transmission. Voyager 2 had seen something, and it had recorded it. When the data was cleaned up and analyzed, something emerged that sent a ripple through the scientific community. There was an object approximately 500,000 kilometers from the probe, moving at a speed inconsistent with any known natural body in that region. No asteroid belts, no rogue planets, no expected comets. And yet, this thing, whatever it was not just drifting, that was tracking. Its course of motion was toward the same vector that Voyager 2 was traveling. The object's velocity adjusted slightly, in a way that mimicked Voyager's trajectory. Imagine a predator stalking silently in the wake of its prey, just in its movement, just enough to stay within range. But not enough to provoke suspicion. NASA scientists were not alone in their panic. Independent astronomers and military observers, particularly those involved in deep space monitoring, were pulled in. They confirmed it. It wasn't a malfunction. The plasma density readings, the magnetometer, anomalies, even subtle fluctuations within the probe's gyroscopic data all pointed to a single conclusion. Voyager 2 had company. And that company might not be benign. Possibly the most terrifying revelation came not from what Voyager 2 saw, but from what it sent back. A radio frequency burst piggybacked onto the ordinary telemetry feed. It contained a digital signal that had no origin in Voyager's own systems. It wasn't programmed to send this. But it did. When decrypted, the packet of data contained a series of binary strings that, when plotted visually, formed patterns, almost like glyphs. Not natural cosmic waves. Not background noise. These were built deliberately. Some liken them to crop circle geometry. Others to symbols seen in early human history: spirals, intersections, recursive loops. A group of AI linguists and astrophysicists ran the data through contextual analysis algorithms. The results were unsettling. The shape of the signal matched what we would expect from an intentional transmission. Not from Voyager, but from something else, something that had either hijacked or embedded itself within the signal stream, whether it was a warning or a message. No one could say for certain, but the implications were clear. Voyager 2 wasn't alone in deep space, and what it encountered might have followed us back. The scientific community is divided. Some argue this is the evidence we've been waiting for, proof that we are not alone. Others are less optimistic, concerned that this is a sign of surveillance. Or worse, a prelude. In past decades, the idea of extraterrestrial existence was primarily relegated to exoplanet discoveries and faint signals from distant stars. But this was near, and it wasn't passive. What makes this discovery even more chilling is the timing. Similar anomalies were discovered in data from Voyager 1, just months before, but were dismissed as static interference. Now, those readings are being reviewed under a new light. And many believe we've been too blind to arrogant to consider the most terrifying explanation, that someone or something has been watching us longer than we dared to admit, and now they've made contact as Voyager. 2's instruments continue to collect data. A team at the Deep Space Network received an unfiltered stream of electromagnetic readings, frequencies oscillating in patterns they had never encountered before. At first, analysts thought it might be interference, cosmic rays, background fluctuation. But when the team isolated the signal and enhanced its waveforms, what emerged shocked them. A structured sequence pulsing with mathematical precision, almost as if it were artificial. Scientists ran a Fourier analysis. What they saw reflected the base harmonic frequencies of hydrogen, but inverted. A deliberate alteration of the universe's most abundant element. What could that possibly mean? Imply the signal wasn't simply noise. It was trying to talk. The team cross-referenced the signal's direction with Voyager 2's trajectory, only to find that this motion had shifted. It wasn't random, it was tracking the probe, digging into the documents. An intern at NASA stumbled upon decades-old telemetry from Voyager 1. While comparing the records, a traumatic alignment emerged in the exact same region of interstellar space, decades apart. Voyager 1 had experienced a brief data anomaly nearly identical to Voyager 2's current findings. Back then, however, the disruption had been dismissed as static. Now, in hindsight, it looked like a first encounter. Scientists revisited the Voyager 1 logs and applied modern AI-powered deciphering tools to the signal distortions. The result: the waveform matched the contemporary event almost perfectly. This was no coincidence. Something, or someone, was waiting inside the void, and it had encountered both Voyager probes. The implication: this was not the first time we had been observed. Using advanced modeling, the team mapped the anomaly's motion. It didn't follow gravitational arcs like a comet or asteroid. Instead, its trajectory bent unnaturally. It's as if warping spacetime itself to remain hidden. Every simulation failed to reflect its course using known physics. Worse still, the object appeared to accelerate and decelerate at will, hovering at the edge of visibility, just beyond the reach of standard optical instruments. NASA scientists described its behavior as reactive, meaning it only moved in response to Voyager's transmissions. Was it listening? Learning? Or was it trying to avoid being seen altogether? Some began to ask, what if Voyager 2 didn't just discover this object, it provoked it, while the object remained visually elusive? The probe's magnetometer began registering rapid magnetic flux changes, shifts so sharp they suggested active manipulation of electromagnetic fields around the craft. Conspiracy theories ignited, claiming Voyager 2 had made contact with an interstellar intelligence. But it wasn't just theories anymore. A former JPL engineer leaked an internal document suggesting that the anomaly's field disruptions resembled torus-shaped energy distortions, much like those predicted by theoretical Alcubierre drives or warp fields. Had Voyager stumbled upon something far beyond our understanding? something capable of folding the very fabric of space? The energy patterns weren't fading, they were intensifying. And each pulse, each wave seemed to resonate with one terrifying truth. We aren't alone. And we never have been. Back on Earth, something even more chilling began to unfold. Radio telescopes in Chile, Australia, and South Africa began detecting faint but repeating echoes of the same distorted frequency that Voyager 2 had recorded. These echoes were buried beneath the hum of background cosmic radiation, but they shared one alarming feature. They pulsed in perfect synchrony with the transmission delays of Voyager 2's deep space signals. It was as though something out there was mirroring the probe's activity. Analysts called this phenomenon the phantom pulse. Attempts to triangulate the source were inconclusive. But one thing was clear, this wasn't a localized anomaly. Something out there had found a way to project its presence across vast regions of space simultaneously. The pattern wasn't just intelligent, it was strategic, as if designed to be noticed, but only once humanity was ready. At this point, the conversation within classified scientific circles shifted from "what is it?" to a more disturbing question: why now? Voyager 2 had been drifting silently for nearly 5 decades. Its journey expected to vanish into the cosmic background. But now, just as artificial intelligence and quantum deciphering reached maturity, on Earth, the anomaly chose to respond. Was this a coincidence or an invitation? Some theorize that the object wasn't merely reacting to Voyager's presence, but to Earth's technological development, that it had been silently waiting, watching, and now, once humanity had the tools to decipher its message, finally made its move. Governments imposed media blackouts, private observatories were quietly shut down. Even some AI researchers were reportedly removed from their projects, without explanation. Behind closed doors, the question echoed louder than ever. Did Voyager 2 initiate first contact? Or did it awaken something we were never meant to find? In the end, Voyager 2 wasn't just a messenger from Earth. It became the catalyst for a revelation that shattered our illusion of cosmic solitude, the mysterious shifting structure, the mirrored transmissions, the encoded frequencies. None of it fits into the tidy boxes of human science. Something or someone is out there, not billions of light years away, but lurking in the shadows of our own solar system, watching, waiting, and perhaps. The most terrifying part? They chose now to respond. Not when Voyager launched, not when it passed Neptune, but now. When our species had finally reached the technological threshold needed to understand. The question is no longer whether we are alone. The real question is, what have we just woken up? Stay alert, because this story is far from over. The next signal could come at any moment, and the next discovery may not. Just change what we know about the universe, it might change who we are. Then, 3 days later, it happened. A low-frequency pulse, sharper and more defined than anything previously received, reached Earth's deep space network stations, not from Voyager 2, but from somewhere else. The signal didn't match the trajectory of either Voyager probe. It was triangulated to a point just beyond the heliopause in a region previously believed empty. No known object resided there, no spacecraft, no asteroid, nothing. And yet, there it was. The pulse wasn't random noise. It bore a repeating pattern. Nested within an electromagnetic envelope, a mathematical lattice that resembled prime numbers entwined with Fibonacci sequences. It was as though the message had structure, logic, even intention. Encryption specialists and linguists were brought in under strict NDAs. The first decrypted fragments were staggering: geometries, star charts, vectors, but not maps of places. We know, rather, places we used to know. Systems that had gone supernova, stars long extinct. It was a map of a dead sky, cosmic graveyard. But one thing stood out. one blinking point alive, red and marked differently from all others. Its position, roughly 46.7 astronomical units from the Sun, exactly where Voyager 1 had been. When at first glitched theories spread behind the scenes like wildfire. Some believe the signal was a warning, others an invitation, and a few, the most cautious minds, whispered what no one wanted to say aloud. It's a breadcrumb trail. The entity or entities behind the phenomenon weren't simply revealing themselves. They were testing us, probing not just our location, but our comprehension. Did we notice the pattern? Could we decode it? Would we follow it? Then a strange coincidence, or perhaps not a coincidence at all. Anomalies in Earth's own magnetosphere began to echo the pulse, very subtly, as though something on our side of space had been activated or triggered. Satellites malfunctioned. A high-altitude balloon over the Indian Ocean recorded bursts of cosmic rays that mirrored the phantom pulse's frequency. Wildlife in several regions exhibited odd migratory behavior, especially birds and sea turtle species, known to navigate using the Earth's magnetic field. It was as if nature itself had sensed something unnatural. Then came the second message. This one was different. Not a pulse, but a tone, harmonic, layered. Some researchers said it sounded like a language, trying to be formed syllables born of physics, not biology. Iron. Spectrogram analysis revealed what appeared to be frenetic symmetry, like two systems of communication trying to bridge across a void, and at its very center, one word repeated in waveform structure. The closest transliteration rendered by neural translators was return. But return? What a message? A vessel? Ourselves? NASA denied everything. Publicly, Voyager 2 remained operational but unresponsive. Privately, all communication with the probe was suspended. The Deep Space Network's primary array was quietly taken offline for maintenance. The leaked logs told a different story. The probe had received a course correction. It didn't come from Earth. Voyager 2 had shifted slightly, barely measurable, but unmistakable, as if something had nudged it. Gently, precisely, deliberately, it a signal to begin a return journey? Or was it already on its way back? One astrophysicist working anonymously stated,